So today we're doing a 20-minute Amrap, which is as many rounds as possible you can do in 20 minutes. We are doing 5 exercises today, and we're doing 10 reps per exercise. So you're going to perform as many rounds of those 5 exercises at 10 reps as possible. So the first exercise we are doing is a kettlebell swing. So this is a hip hinge movement. You're going to have your feet just outside the shoulders, toes pointing out. You're going to have your core nice and tight, holding the kettlebell, arms nice and straight. You're going to drive back with the hips, so you're going to bend in the hips, soften the knees, drive back in with the hips, and then you're going to come up to shoulder height and then back down. So you get into a nice momentum, making sure you're not extending your back, you're coming and squeezing the glutes. So when you're performing full reps, you'll be doing 10 of these, nice and controlled. Core tight, chest up the whole time. The next exercise we're doing is a push-up. So you're going to need a mat or your towel. Hands down by your side. Shoulders back and down, core nice and tight, belly button tucked in. You're going to soften the elbows, chest down to the mat, then pushing back up. If that's too hard, drop to your knees. Soften your elbows again, in close to the body, chest to the ground, pushing back up through the palms, using the chest and core nice and tight here. The next exercise we're doing is body Russian twist. So you're going to pop onto the ground, back nice and flat, hands out by your side, legs in 90-degree angle, and you're just going to move them side to side, nice and controlled, using your core and your obliques to really move your legs. So you're not moving your legs, you're using your core to move your legs, keeping the chest up the whole time. The next exercise that we're going to do is press. So it depends on what equipment you have at home. If you have something light, you might prefer to do this movement 10 on one side and then 10 on the other side. But if you have a heavy weight, you can put your 2 hands holding, core nice and tight, chest up. And we're going to use our shoulders here, driving it up overhead, nice and controlled back down. So nice and controlled up, and then nice and controlled back down. If you are using one hand in a kettlebell, holding it nice and tight, shoulder back and down, and then driving up overhead, controlled back down. And then lastly, we have inchworms. So you're going to stand on the spot for the whole time. Feet are hip distance apart. We're going to reach down, crawl the whole way out into plank, and your hands are going to be under your shoulders, core nice and tight, and then standing all the way back up again. So nice and controlled out, nice and flat, hands under the shoulders, core tight, and then standing back up again. Okay guys, we're going to start. I'm going to give you a few seconds just to grab your water and towel and mat if you have one, and your weight that you have, if it's, pardon? Oh yeah. Oh God. Okay guys, let's do a quick warm up so that we can get our bodies warmed up and primed for what we're going to do, because it is a 20-minute AMRAP. We want to make sure that we do have the muscles warmed up. So what I'm going to get you to do is stand with your feet hip distance apart. I want you to come down, touch your toes, slowly peel yourself up, reach towards the sky. Nice and controlled down, stretching the back of those hamstrings, and then we're opening up the chest, reaching up nice and high, and also those shoulder joints. So just showing you from the side, down to touch your toes, back up. So we're going to do 4 more, nice controlled down, opening up the chest, and then back down again. Let's do 2 more. 2, and then last one. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to have our feet hip distance just aside the shoulders, apart, should I say. And we're going to have chest up. We're going to suck our belly button into the spine. We're going to bend our knees and push back with our hips and into a squat. We're going to do 10 of these. Really warming up the glutes, quads, and hamstrings. Core nice and tight. 4, 5. You should feel nice stretch of those legs. 4, 3 more. And then last 2. Big breath in and back up again. Okay, we're going to do a few reverse lunges on the spot. Feet together, leg back, bend your knee, down. Nice and controlled. Really important to do single leg workouts so that we are fixing any imbalances and making sure we're warming up both sides equally. 7, 8, 9, and then last one, 10. Okay, opposite hand to opposite leg like a starfish. Gonna come down, touch your toe, back up again. Up, down. Really warming up. As you warm up, you can go a little bit quicker. Let's do 4 more. Big stretch. 2, 1. Okay, let's do 10 jumping jacks just to get that heart rate up a little bit. So nice and wide, opening up the legs and arms. 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we should be warmed up by now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn up the music a little bit. I'm gonna come back. I'm going to set the clock, which will give us 10 seconds to get into it, and I'm going to count you through it, but I'm going to go at a moderate pace. So that means I'm not going to be going too quick or too slow, but for you at home, you go at what pace you feel is best for you today. If you feel that you can go a bit quicker, then go for it. If you feel you need to go a little bit slower and take a little bit more rest, well then do that. But really push yourself and gauge the first. Maybe go a bit easier, moderate pace like I'm doing for the first round. And then if you feel that you can really drive that home over the next 20 minutes, then you can, okay? But I'm gonna talk to you the whole time. So I'll be starting with kettlebell swings, then push-ups, then our body Russian twists, our shoulder presses, and then our inchworms. So I'm gonna go turn up the music, come back, set the clock, and then we're gonna go. Okay, so we're starting off with kettlebell swings. I'm going to set my clock. Okay, it's counting down from now. 7 seconds. We're doing 10 kettlebell swings. 2, 1. Remember, driving back with those hips. 2, squeeze. Chest up. 4. 5, you count at home how many you're doing. 8 for me, 9, 10. Push-ups, 10 push-ups. On your knees or your toes. Down, nice control. 2, 4, remember, chest to ground, drop your knees if you need to. 6, 4, nice and tight. 8, 9, 10. Okay, onto my back, and I'm gonna do the body Russian twist. Legs bent, hands over my side, and side to side. That's 1. That's 2. Head resting down. 4, 5, nice control, really feeling that in your core. That's 7, nice control, really using my obliques. Last one. Okay, press. 10, remember you can do this single hand or 2 hands. Pushing up overhead, nice control down. 4 tight, 2, 3, elbows out, 4. Looking up, chest up, 4 nice and tight, 6, Remember, I'm going at a moderate pace, so if you feel you can go a little bit faster, do. 9, 10. Okay, inchworms. I'll do it from the side, all the way out, then standing up. That's 1. Then standing up nice and tall. 2. 3. 4. Good. Make sure those hands are under the shoulders. Core is nice and tight. You're standing up nice and tall. 4. 2 to go. Remember, take your time. These are hard. They're probably the most underestimated exercise. Okay, so that took me around 3 minutes. So we have 16 minutes and 50 seconds really left. So that kind of gives you an indication of how long it should take you. If it took me 3 minutes and there's 20 minutes, could be getting in maybe around 5 or 6 rounds. So have a drink of water at the end of each round, but then get stuck back into it. I'm just going to have a drink. So a beginner will probably get in maybe 4 rounds. Moderate pace might get in 6 rounds. Advanced, you might get in 8 rounds. So have that in your head, tick it off. You've done 1 round. I'm going to join back in. I'm not going to do everything, but just to remind you of form. This time I'm going to do the kettlebell swing from the side. And kettlebell swing, drive the back of the hip, up, squeeze. 2. 4. See how I drive back with the hips? My back is nice and straight, core is tight. So back into it if you just had a drink of water and finished. 10. Then I've got push-ups. Just going to show you a push-up from the front. So I showed it from the side the last time. Hands by the side, elbows in nice and tight, chest to ground. Nice control. 2. If you feel like you're shaking, just go to where it's comfortable today. If it's just here and then back up, that's perfect. And then the Russian twist. 15 minutes, guys. That means you're a quarter of the way through. So if you're going really slow, that gives you an indication that you're probably going to get in 4 rounds. Nice control down, resting hands down the side, neck relaxed, head relaxed back, and really thinking of your core, bringing those legs up and down. Nice and controlled. Okay, if you were finding your weight was light the last time, I'm going to show you how to do with a kettlebell. So, and you're going to do single arm. So down, turn around, shoulder press over, back down, nice and controlled. All the way around, or you can stay here, and then do 10 aside. 2, shoulder nice, back and down, core tight, chest up. And then you would turn around slowly, switch over to the other hand, and do the opposite side. You should always start with your weakest side. Find that your left is your weakest side. That's the one that you should perform first in the exercise. Then after this, we've got our inchworms. Remember, I'll do this just facing forward this time. 30 minutes and 35 seconds to go. Feet are at the end of your mat or just here. You're not going to move those. They stay in the same spot the whole time. You're going to crawl out, hands under the shoulders, hands pushing you back up again. Nice shoulder, upper body, core workout. And then standing up nice and tall. Take your time here. These are definitely a good killer on the shoulders in a workout, but just take your time. If you can do 4, have a rest, a few seconds, and then get back into it. 13 minutes to go, guys. So if you were doing a moderate pace like me, 3 minutes, you should definitely be coming towards the end of your second workout by now, or second round, should I say, because if not gone on to your third and having a little break, because it has been nearly 8 minutes gone. But get into that nice pace, nice routine. Try and do all of the 5 exercises if you can, then have a drink of water, get your heart rate down a teeny bit, and then get back into it. But if you are finding you are just smashing this, just keep going, have a little breather at the end, then straight back into it. Your rest can be anywhere from 15-20 seconds if you're advanced, maybe 30-40 seconds if you're like in between a beginner and advanced, and then if you're a beginner, you might be taking a full 60 seconds to 90 seconds, but just gauge where you are at. Okay, we are coming up to 11 minutes and 50 seconds left. Okay, kettlebell swings, we're gonna do them from the front this time. Chest up, toes out, core tight, driving back with the hips up. Squeeze. And remember, I'm not using my lower back here, I'm using my glutes, my hamstrings, upper body to move this kettlebell. After you've done those, it's push-ups. This time I'm going to do these from this angle. 11 minutes, 18 seconds to go. Core nice and tight, hands down by the side, soften the elbows, chest to ground, back up, pushing through those palms. Nice control down, back up. One more for me, and up. And then you can stay where you are and pop onto your back, which is good. Nice flow there. Feet at 90-degree angle, hands down by the side, chest, head relax. Turning side to side. Nice and controlled. Remember, each side is 1 breath. So this is 1 breath. Nice control. Really using my core to move my legs. And then we got our presses. This time I'm going to use 2 hands. My elbows are at 45-degree angle, pointing out, chest up, pushing up overhead, control down. Just to show you from the side, my tummy's nice and tight. Pushing up, nice and controlled down. Shoulders back and down, chest up, control back down. Okay, inchworms. Ooh, we're gone past halfway. 9 minutes, 50 seconds from now. So now we're on the good side. This is where it's going to start getting better mentally. Inchworms crawling out, and then standing back up, nice and tall. Taking your time. If you do find that they're really hard, as I said, break them down. We've got 9 minutes and 24 seconds to go. Okay guys, keep going. Have a drink of water where you need to. So 9 minutes left. If you were doing that every 3 or 4 minutes, you should be getting in at least another 2 rounds to 3 rounds. If you're doing beginner, you should be coming to the end of your 3rd one, going into your last one when it comes to the last 5 minutes. So taking your time, watching what you're doing, making sure your form is correct. But pushing yourself, there's a difference. There's pushing yourself where you've got good form and you feel you can do it, but then if you feel like you're losing your form or you're feeling a tweak somewhere, then it's time to slow it down. Okay, 8 minutes, 20 seconds. I'm going to jump back in again and do a few exercises. Okay, just to remind, feet just outside the hips, toes pointing out, chest up, and driving back with the kettlebell up to around shin height. 8 minutes. Nice control. And then we've got our push-ups. On your knees or your toes, or you can do half on your toes, half on your knees. Up to you. Nice control. Pushing, keep those hands in. You'll feel that in the back of your arms as well. You really feel this in your triceps just as much. And then we got Russians. Turn. Maybe I'll do this side this time. Bit of a different angle. Legs, hands on your side, and then moving side to side. Nice and controlled. Okay, and after Russian twist, we have a press. I'll do single this time. And I'll do it with a kettlebell, or not kettlebell, a dumbbell, just for if someone has a dumbbell and wants to see how you would perform it. Dumbbell around the ear, shoulder back and down, pushing up overhead, nice and controlled. So 10 aside, up. And just you can put your hand here just to make sure your shoulders can collapse, and up. And then you would do obviously your weaker side first. 6 minutes and 33 seconds to go. Nice control. Core tight. You want to protect that lower back. So big breath in here, hold, push up, and then breathe out when you come back down. So I'll show you this one. Okay, after press, we've got inchworms. Show you from this side. Or not. This side, last side. Nice control. Remember, we're keeping those hands under the shoulder joints the whole time. Under 6 minutes, guys. Out into the front. Then knees stand up nice and tall. And standing up nice and tall again. Okay. Coming up to nearly 5 minutes. We're at 5 minutes and 33 seconds now. So, should be maybe going into your last or second last round. Make it your aim to do what you set out in your head. If you set out in your head that you're going to do 4 rounds, try your best to get the 4 rounds. If you set out in your head for do 6 rounds, you're doing 6 rounds. If you're advanced and you're killing this, you should be doing 8 to 10 rounds. Yes. Okay. 5 minutes. We're in the good zone. You have 3/4 of your workout done. You've only got 5 minutes left. It's going to fly. Remember, having a drink of water where you can. We don't want to be wasting time either, but you want to be having a quick drink of water, wipe the sweat, get back into it. 4 minutes, 35 seconds. I'm going to join in for one more round. Starting with my kettlebell swings. Are you ready? 4 minutes, 20 seconds, not long to go. I won't count, so I don't want to throw anybody off. 2, 1. After I've done my kettlebell swings, push-ups. Face this way this time. Nice control. 2, 3. I'll do 3 this way, and then I'm going to do a different angle for another 3. 3 minutes, under 40 seconds. And remember, when you've done your push-ups, you just turn onto your back. Feet are 90 degrees, toes up, core nice and tight, hands on my side, and side to side. Nice control. Using your obliques core to move the legs. Okay, presses. I'm gonna use kettlebell this time. And I'm gonna do 2 hands. 10 reps here for me. See how my elbows are not like this? They're nice back and down. And my core is tight the whole time. And see how I control the weight down? Makes it a bit harder. I mean, if you have a light weight, you want to make this harder, slow it down on the way down the eccentric. And my last one. Okay, inchworms next. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. We're getting there, guys. Okay, we're under 2 minutes. 1 minute and 50 seconds from now. You are in the last round. You're probably going to be last time doing each exercise. Say that in your head, it does help. So get in the zone and be like, this is my last time doing each exercise. I'm going to give it everything I got. So push. 90 seconds to go. Really good, guys. Last 70 seconds. We are nearly there. Just think, we're coming into the last 60 seconds. In 2, 1. Last 60 seconds, guys. Don't give up. Keep pushing. If you said to yourself you're going to do something, do it. Try and finish it. Push through the mental barrier. 50 seconds. And also keep going, keep track of how many rounds you get in, and then the next time you can try and beat that. You come back and do this workout again and see can you do more rounds. 30 seconds, last 30 seconds, don't stop now. Even if you finish your exercise, move on to the next one. Every rep counts. 20 seconds. Nearly there. Keep going, guys, keep going, keep going. We got it. 10 seconds. I know it's tough these last few seconds, but push through it. 5, 2, 1. Yay! Well done, guys. So write that number down. How many rounds did you get in today? And then the next time you can come back and see can you beat it and see can you get more rounds in. But well done, really good job. Okay, so now we have finished our workout. We want to cool down the body and give it a stretch so we don't get any injuries, and just a good way of really stretching out those muscles so we can maintain our mobility. So what I want you to do is to grab your mat or towel. Find just a little area that you have enough space in for your legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to go onto our backs, and you're going to get your opposite hand to your knee. Pull that leg across, arm out, and you're going to keep pushing that knee down, and I'm going to look that direction of my shoulder joint. Nice stretch. Feel that all the way through my chest, out to my elbow and my shoulder joint, down my glute, hamstring, and also through my core. Okay, opposite side, and across, arm out, looking over your shoulder. Getting a nice stretch. Staying here for a good 10 seconds. Okay, I'm going to get you to pop up. And you're going to bring one leg forward. So leg forward. And you're going to push that knee forward, pushing into it and giving a nice stretch into the back of the hamstrings, into the hip flexors. And holding that. Nice stretch. And just hold it. If you feel you can go a little bit deeper and push a bit more, do. Giving a nice stretch. You should feel a stretch in that hip flexor as well. Okay, push back out of it. Toe up. Forehead down towards your knee, giving a stretch into the back of the hamstring. Feel that in your hamstring all the way up into your glute. You can feel it also in your lower back as you bend over. And again, soften, and I'll go down as far as where you can. Keep that leg straight. Try not to let that knee pop up. Okay, opposite side. We're going to start off the way that we started last time. Pushing into it, giving a nice stretch. Chest up. And you can use that elbow to push that knee down a little bit, or just relax it. I'm just holding this position, and again you'll feel it on the opposite inside leg too, in the hip flexor. Pushing back out, toe up, forehead down towards your knee, giving a nice stretch into the back of those hamstrings. Okay, let's stand up, and we're going to do a nice soft shoulder joint. Nice and relaxed, big movements. Let's do 4 more. Really moving that ball and socket of the shoulder. We did a lot of shoulders, so really want to give them a stretch. Okay, hand up and over, and you're going to get the opposite hand, and you're going to push the elbow, pushing your hand down to reach as far down your back as you can. Nice stretch through the lat, down into the chest, into the tricep, and just hold that. Give this nice stretch. You should feel it. Push a little bit more if you can't, and let's do the opposite side. And again, pushing the elbow down, trying to push your opposite hand down your back as far as you can. Okay. Shoulders back and down, arm coming across, hand under, and pull in towards you. So you're really trying to get this hand to push the other arm in towards your body, towards your chest. Other side. Again, we did a lot of shoulders, so you really want to stretch out the shoulder into the bicep and tricep.